Hey, this is Morgan from MorganOnScience.com and MetaMorgan on Twitter, and today I'm going to finish off this series about science success, science efficacy that I've been talking about, that was spurred on by reading Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So this last thing is a revisit to the concept of being proactive. And there's a particular part of being proactive that I think is really important that very, very few people that I encounter do. So ever since I really started thinking about this concept, I ask people, have you done this thing? And most people say, no, I'm not sure really where to start. And when I think about it, it flabbergasts me. So what is this thing that people aren't doing that I'm amazed that they're not doing? Well, it's defining what their goal is in life. Who do they want to be? Where do they want to go? You know, it's so important that we actually sit down and think about and define our life's direction, our life's meaning. But I heard a statistic, I don't know if it's correct, that only 3% of people, of adults, actually do that. Only 3% of adults sit down and clearly define what is their mission in life, what is their goal in life, who do they want to be, how do they want to contribute. Most people, instead, the other 90%, 97%, just react to whatever happens. You know, so, you know, in a science career that might be, okay, well, you know, I need to get my PhD, so then they get the PhD. And then it's like, okay, well, you know, am I going to get a job or am I going to do a postdoc? Okay, well, I'll do a postdoc. I guess that's the next natural step. Or maybe it's get a job. Then they do that. And then it's like, okay, the postdoc's coming to an end. Okay, what do I do next? Oh, well, maybe I apply for a faculty job. Or maybe there's this great job, and so I go apply for this job. But see, that's being reactive. That's reacting to the circumstances and saying, okay, now I'm at this stage, now I have to make this decision. And each decision is made in isolation without reference to some larger framework. And so that's a recipe for just sort of wandering through life without a particular goal in mind. And so ultimately, what ends up happening to people who do that, which is, again, 97% of the population, is they wander around and, you know, let other people define who they are. And so if you want to know what differentiates the real movers and shakers in any area of life, it doesn't matter whether it's science or engineering or, you know, running companies or whatever, it's those people who've actually sat down and clearly defined what they want, you know, been proactive, defining what they want, and then defined how do I get there from where I am to where I want to be. And so, you know, it just, again, now that I realize the importance of this, it amazes me that so many people don't do it. But, you know, a few years ago, that was me. I was somebody who was going through life and just responding to whatever came along. And so things would come along and I'd say, oh, that's a great opportunity, and I would jump on it. But I ended up in a situation where, you know, I had to ask myself, is this really what I want for the rest of my life? And, you know, the answer I came to was, well, no, I really need to define what I want for the rest of my life. I just ended up here because it was the thing to do. So, you know, I encourage you strongly, sit down, you know, spend half an hour, just half an hour defining what are your goals? Where do you want to be in 2 years or in 5 years? What do you want to be doing? You know, and this applies to the science that you do. If you love your science and want to continue doing the science, then define, like, what is the big picture of your career? What contributions do you want to make? And let that really drive you, rather than just, oh, here's an RFA that comes along, that's a request for applications that comes along that says, oh, we have funding for this or we have funding for that. Yeah, you might want to jump on those activities, but you want to jump on those opportunities within the context of that big picture. So that's it for the series. I think if you do this one thing, if you take this one message home out of this whole series that I've done, it's the most important one. Define where you're going. Have that clear picture in mind of where you're going, where you want to be, and use that as a reference point, as a reference framework for anything else that you choose to do or choose not to do. And your life will be in your own hands, finally. So I hope that's helpful. Leave me comments if you have anything any thoughts about this series or this particular post today. And that's at morganonscience.com and MetaMorgan on Twitter. And I'll be coming at you tomorrow with another episode on some different subjects. See you later.